So it's part 3. The villain you are after is inside the beak of that bird, standing by to collar him. And to the pelican he said, "Get ready to open up. Are you ready? Steady. Go! Open her up!" The pelican opened his gigantic beak, and immediately the policeman pounced upon the burglar, who was crouching inside. They snatched his pistol away from him and dragged him out and put handcuffs on his wrists. "Great Scott!" shouted the chief of the police. "It's the Cobra himself!" "The who? The what?" everyone asked. "Who's the Cobra?" "The Cobra is the cleverest and most dangerous cat burglar in the world," said the chief of police. "He must have climbed up the drainpipe. The Cobra can do anything." "My diamonds!" screamed the Duchess. "I want my diamonds! Where are my diamonds?" "Here they are!" cried the chief of police, fishing great handfuls of jewellery from the burglar's pockets. The Duchess was so overcome with relief that she fell to the ground in a faint. When the police had taken away the fearsome burglar known as the Cobra, and the fainting Duchess had been carried into the house by her servant, the old Duke stood on the lawn with the giraffe, the pelican, the monkey, and me. "Look!" cried the monkey, "that rotten burglar's bullet has made a hole in poor Pelly's beak." "That's done it," said the pelican. Now it won't be any use for holding water when we clean the windows." "Don't worry about that, my dear Pelly," said the Duke, patting him on the beak. "My chauffeur will soon put a patch over it the same way he mends the tyres on the Rolls Royce. Now we have far more important things to talk about than a little hole in a beak." We all stood there waiting to see what the Duke was going to say next. "Now listen to me, all of you," he said. "Those diamonds were worth millions, millions and millions, and you saved them." The monkey nodded, the giraffe smiled, the pelican blushed. "No reward is too great for you," the Duke went on. "I am therefore going to make you an offer which I hope I will give you pleasure. I hereby invite the giraffe, the pelican, and the monkey to live on my estate for the rest of their lives. I shall give you my best and largest hay barn as your private house. Central heating, showers, a kitchen, and anything else you desire for your comfort will be installed. In return, you will keep my windows clean, pick my cherries and my apples. If the pelican is willing, perhaps he will also give me a ride in his beak now and then." "A pleasure, your grace," cried the pelican. "Would you like a ride now?" "Later," said the Duke. "I'll have one after tea." At this point, the giraffe gave a nervous cough and looked up at the sky. "Is there a problem?" asked the Duke. "If there is, do please let me hear it." "I don't like to sound ungrateful or pushy," murmured the giraffe, "but we do have one very pressing problem. We are absolutely famished. We haven't eaten for days." "My dear Giraffe," cried the Duke, "how very thoughtless of me. Food is no problem around here." "I'm afraid it's not quite as easy as that," said the giraffe. "You see, I myself happen to be—" "Don't tell me," cried the Duke. "I know it already. I'm an expert on the animals of Africa. The moment I saw you, I knew you were no ordinary giraffe. You are the generaceous variety, are you not?" "You're absolutely right, your grace," said the giraffe, "but the trouble is with us is that we only eat—" "You don't have to tell me that either," said the Duke. "I know perfectly well a generaceous giraffe can only eat the pink and purple flowers of the Tinkle Tinkle tree, and they are your only diet." "Yes," sighed the giraffe, "and that's been my problem ever since I arrived on these shores." "That is no problem at all here at Hampshire House," said the Duke. "Look over there, my dear Giraffe, and you will see the only plantation of Tinkle Tinkle trees in this entire country." The giraffe looked. She gave a gasp of astonishment, and at first she was so overwhelmed she couldn't even speak. Great tears of joy began to roll down her cheeks. "Help yourself," said the Duke. "Eat all you want." "Oh, my sainted souls!" gasped the giraffe. "Oh, my naked neck! I cannot believe what I am seeing." The next moment she was galloping full speed across the lawns and whinnying with excitement, and the last we saw of her she was burying her head in the beautiful pink and purple flowers that blossom on the tops of the trees around her. "As for the monkey," the Duke went on, "I think he will also be pleased with what I have to offer. All over my estate there are thousands of giant nut trees." "Nuts!" cried the monkey. "What kind of nuts?" "Walnuts, of course," said the Duke. "Walnuts!" screamed the monkey. "Not walnuts. You don't really mean walnuts. You're pulling my leg. You're joking. You can't be serious." "I must have heard it wrong. There's a walnut tree right over there," said the Duke, pointing. The monkey took off like an arrow, and a few seconds later he was high up in the branches of the walnut tree, cracking the nuts and guzzling what was inside. "That all Elisa Pelly," said the Duke. "Yes," said the pelican nervously, "but I'm afraid that's what I eat. What I eat does not grow on trees. I only eat fish. Would it be too much trouble, I wonder, if I was to ask you for a reasonably fresh piece of haddock or cod every day?" "Haddock or cod?" shouted the Duke, spitting out the words as though they made a bad taste in his mouth. "Cast your eyes, my dear Pelly, over there to the south." The pelican looked across the vast rolling estate, and in the distance he saw a river. "This is the River Hamp," cried the Duke, "the finest salmon river in the whole of Europe." "Salmon!" screeched the pelican. "Not salmon! You surely don't mean salmon." "It's full of salmon," said the Duke, "and I own it. You can help yourself." Before he had finished speaking, the pelican was in the air. The Duke and I watched him as he flew full speed towards the river. We saw him circle over the water, and then he dived and disappeared. A few moments later, he was in the air again, and he had a gigantic salmon in his beak. I stood alone with the Duke on the lawn beside the great house. "Well, Billy," he said, "I'm glad they are all happy, but what about you, my lad? I'm wondering if you happen to have just one extra little special wish all for yourself. If you do, I'd love you to tell me about it." There was a sudden tingling in my toes. It felt as though something tremendous might be going to happen at any moment. "Yes," I murmured nervously, "I do have one extra special little wish." "Oh, what might that be?" said the Duke in a kind voice. "There's an old wooden house near where I live," I said. "It used to be called the Grubber, and long ago it used to be a sweet shop. I have wished and wished that one day somebody might come along and make it into a marvellous new sweet shop all over again." "Somebody?" cried the Duke. "What do you mean, somebody? You and I will do that. We'll do it together. We'll make it into the most wonderful sweet shop in the world, and you, my dear boy, will own it." Whenever the old Duke got excited, his enormous moustaches started to bristle and jump about. Right now they were jumping up and down so much it looked as though he had a squirrel on his face. "By God, sir," he cried, waving his stick, "I shall buy the place today, and then we'll get to work and have the whole thing ready in no time. Just you wait and see what sort of sweet shop you are going to make out of this Grubber place of yours." It was amazing how quickly things began to happen after that. There was no problem about buying the house because it was owned by the Giraffe, the Pelly, and the Monkey, and they insisted in giving it to the Duke for nothing. Then builders and carpenters moved in and rebuilt the whole of the inside so that once again it had 3 floors. On all these floors they put together rows and rows of tall shelves, and there were ladders to climb to the higher shelves, and baskets to carry what you bought. Then the sweets and chocolates and toffees and fudges and nuggets began pouring in to fill the shelves. Then came by aeroplane from every country in the world the most wild and wondrous things you could have imagined. There were gum twizzlers, fizzwinkles from China, froth blowers and spitzbizzles from Africa, tummy tickles and gobangles from the Fiji Islands, and lip lickers and plush nuggets from the land of the midnight sun. For 2 whole weeks, a flood of boxes and sacks continued to arrive. I could no longer keep track of all the countries they came from, but you can bet your life that as I unpacked each new batch, I sampled it carefully. I can remember especially the giant whangdoodles from Australia. Everyone had a huge red ripe strawberry hidden inside its crispy chocolate crust, and the electric frizz cocklers that made every hair in your head stand straight up on end as soon as you pop one into your mouth. And then there were the Nishnobblers and Gumlotters and Blue Bubbers and Sherbet Slurpers and Tom Rakers, and as well as all this, there was a whole lot of splendid stuff from the Great Wonka factory inside. For example, the famous Willy Wonka rainbow drops. Suck them in and you can spit in 7 different colours, and his stick jaw for talkative parents, and his mint jubs that give the boy next door green teeth for a month. On the grand opening day, I decided to allow all of my customers to help themselves for free, and the place was so crowded with children you could hardly move. The television cameras and the newspaper reporters were all there, and the old Duke himself stood outside in the road with my friends, the Giraffe, the Pelly, and the Monkey, watching the marvellous scene. I came out of the shop to join them for a few moments, and I bought each of them an extra special sweet as a present. To the Duke, because the weather was a little chilly, I gave him some scarlet scorchshoppers that had been sent to me from Iceland. The label said that they were guaranteed to make the person who sucked them as warm as toast, even if they were standing stark naked in the North Pole in midwinter. The moment the Duke popped one into his mouth, thick smoke came gushing out of the old boy's nostrils in such quantities I thought his moustache was going to go up in flames. "Terrific!" he cried out, hopping about. "Tremendous stuff! I'll take a case of them home with me." To the Giraffe, I gave a bag of glumptious glob gobblers. The glob gobbler is an especially delicious sweet that is made somewhere near Mecca, and the moment you bite into it, the perfume juices of Arabia go squirting down your gullet one after the other. "It's wonderful!" cried the Giraffe, as a cascade of lovely liquid flavours poured all the way down her long, long throat. "It's even better than my favourite pink and purple flowers." To the Pelican, I gave a big bag of pishlets. Pishlets, as you probably know, are bought by children unable to whistle as they walk down the street, but long to do so. They had a splendid effect upon the Pelican, but after he had put one of them into a beak and chewed it for a while, he suddenly started singing like a nightingale. This made him wildly excited, because pelicans are not songbirds. No pelican has ever been known to whistle a tune before. To the Monkey I gave a bag of devil drenchers, those small fiery black sweets that one is not allowed to sell to children under 4 years old. When you have sucked a devil's drencher for a minute or so, you can set your breath alight and blow a huge column of fire 20 feet into the air. The Duke put a match to the monkey's breath and shouted, "Blow, monkey, blow!" A sheet of orange flame shot up as high as the roof of the Grubber house, and it was wonderful. "I've got to leave you now," I said. "I must go and look after my customers in the shop." "We must go too," said the Giraffe. "We have 100 windows to clean before dark." I said goodbye to the Duke, and then one by one I said goodbye to the 3 best friends I had ever had. Suddenly, we were all very quiet, and the monkey looked as though she was about to cry. He sang me a little song of farewell. "We have tears in our eyes as we wave our goodbyes. We so loved being with you, we 3. So do now, please now, and then come and see us again, the Giraffe, the Pelly, and me. All you do is to look at a page in this book, because that's where we'll always be. No book ever ends when it's full of your friends, the Giraffe, the Pelly, and me." And that is the end of the Giraffe, the Pelly, and me. So tomorrow we'll start. I might even read some poetry to you tomorrow, and then we'll start a new class read, ready for the rest of the time.